Today, I'm speaking with E.G. Sebastian, who is an author, a business consultant, certified disc trainer, and international speaker who has conducted hundreds of seminars, corporate seminars, and workshops on disc and on business in general. Welcome, E.G.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me for this little chat interview.
Well, there's one thing that made this meeting kind of easy. We share a lot of experiences. We have shared over the years.
A few things in common.
Yeah. Few things in common. Yes, I've learned a lot from you. Well, first, the most important thing we have in common, we share, is our parents.
Oh, that's right. Almost forgot about that.
We are what they call Irish twins, and I hate to say it, I do actually own that same shirt, but I forget the same T-shirt. Our parents still buy us the same exact pieces of clothing. This is no joke. You'll see it in a future video.
Hence, many times people thought we were twins, which
That's
is
right.
obvious.
Obviously, we're twins, right? So you challenged me to start martial arts. Said I'm a lazy butt. I do nothing. I wasn't doing anything other than school.
I think I started doing the guitar too.
I was going there. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes. So Kenneth Dunner and others that have enjoyed my attempts at music, you can thank this guy for the only guy who will play guitar on LinkedIn. But you wrote a book, and I'm holding this book here. You wrote several books. This book is Communication Skills Magic. It's a book about DISC. It's really a work manual. It's a workshop manual that should be on your desk if you work with people. But I want to ask you, so how did you come about writing this book, and why is it important for people to understand personalities?
Well, everybody should either read this book, or if not this one, just learn about personality styles. Ideally a simple system, because it's really simple. But up till about, I don't know, let's see, my son was born in 1998. So up till around 2003, 2004, I thought that, one, my wife was completely nuts. OCD. If I didn't have two kids, I would have run away. I mean, I know nobody can relate to that. Marriage is easy and all peachy and all that, but for me it was really hard. It was hard to hang in there. And then I attended the DISC event by total coincidence, except if you believe that there are no coincidences. It's not coincidence that I attended the DISC event. And when the trainer, Dr. Robert Rome, he was talking about, first of all, was talking about the dominant style, which we probably will mention later, and then the influence style. And when he mentioned the influence style, I'm like, whoa, that's completely me. He says, like your desk is always a mess, and sometimes you commit to it and it takes you 2 weeks to clean it, but in an hour you can make it a messy again. I'm like, yeah, that's me. And gets emotional at movies and likes to talk to people and humor and all that. So I'm like, yeah, that's me. And then he talked about the conscientiousness style, the more analytical types. And wow, it blew my mind, because that was my wife. It's like, they like to put their clothes on hangers and put them in the closet. The shoes go on shoe rack. And I'm like, oh my God. And he says, it's normal. He says, people are not weird. They're just differently wired. I'm like, wow. It was like somebody turned on the light in the realm of relationships for me. Because my son was driving me nuts. I would ask, he was 4 years old. But I asked him a question, I expect you to answer me, but he would be like, let me think about it. I'm like, what is there to think? I asked you a question, just give me the answer. But no, he was also more conscientiousness style. These people, they think before they talk. Who heard of something like that? In my family, most of us, we are fast-paced, and we talk fast, we think fast. And so for me, it was very annoying in the beginning to live with somebody who thinks before they speak. And my wife, who is so organized, I couldn't wait to grow up, so when I come home, I can throw my jacket down, throw my shoes in the corner. After I take a bath, leave my clothes on the floor, and then maybe the next day put them in the wash machine. But no, everything goes on hangers or shoe rack and hampers, and I'm like, oh, my God. But what I learned was that we actually complement each other. Before learning about the different personality styles, I thought that we were constantly butting heads like goats, right? And once I realized that I'm a different style, she's a different style, I have strength and she has strength, and I have weaknesses, she has weaknesses, but she complements my weaknesses, I complement her weaknesses. It's like, wow, it changed my marriage. I mean, it probably saved my marriage. And I was looking at her differently now, because before I thought she was OCD, like, she's loony. I mean, why are you so uptight? But no, about 25% of the population is a conscientiousness style. And nobody's purely one style or another. We are all a combination, so it's not as simple that, oh, you learn the fourth style and you recognize the style and you read people right away. So it's not as simple, but still, it gives you a little guide. But I became a better husband and a better parent, and that's why I wrote the book. Because after I went through that, I'm like, wow, I want to help other parents to go through this. If my father understood this when I was a kid, we would have been less in altercation, because he was more analytical and more organized, and I was very out there, so it was a constant conflict because he didn't understand I was a different style, right? And so I think it's very important for parents to understand this, and of course for managers, right? Because you
So
cannot.
same in business, obviously, same.
Absolutely.
But wait, so I know divorce was never an option, but you probably would have lived at different addresses.
Different life,
So
because
you would have lived in two different houses also, and that
Yeah.
would have made either that or. But divorce was not an option. But you would have had to. She would have to live in one house that's totally neat, and your house a complete mess. But this happens in the workplace too. So what happens in the workplace when two people are totally different styles?
I wish I discovered DISC, or it doesn't matter. DISC is one discipline. There are many ways they describe. There are Myers-Briggs, which is a little more difficult. There are colors. There are all kind of stuff. Animals. It doesn't matter which one you go through. DISC is more established, and there's more research behind it. So I highly recommend it. But I wish I learned about personality style way before, because when I worked in an organization, and many of you experience this, that with some people you instantly your hair curls back on your back and you're like, oh, this person again, oh, I can't stand this person, and you don't even know why. Well, rules are rules and they have to follow it. So for two of the personality styles, the other two, they think the rules are there to be bent, and the influence style, they are like, oh, they were rules. But the other two styles, they are like, the rules are there to be followed. And when you don't understand that, those rule followers, they drive you nuts. I mean, us, who are on the other side.
But how important? So it's important for each personality style to learn about the others and make some compromises in the area where you can. Because if you just simply understand them, but you're not willing to give them a little bit of so that their style is satisfied, you probably create chaos and constant conflict, right?
Well, personality style, it's almost like different languages. So when I understand that you are an analytical type, a conscientiousness type, then like I like stories, I like jokes. So we are taught to follow the golden rule, right? But when it comes to communication, the golden rule is the most dangerous, can get you in lots of trouble. So when I go to a person and I know that they are a conscientiousness style, an analytical type, I will not tell stories anymore. Before I learned about this, I would tell stories, I would crank jokes and sit down at their desk and how was your day? No, they want you to respect their time, stick to the bottom line, give me the numbers, give me the facts. So because I know that they are analytical, now when I talk to one of those people, I keep a more straight face. I give them the bottom line. I give them the facts. I ask her, and then I butt out of there because they don't like you to waste their time with jokes, and you will feel it because they will keep that straight face. And here in America, some people will still smile, so they will still waste their time, but inside they will like, oh, leave. So it's crucial to understand each of the four styles, and actually, we do training in most of the Fortune 500 companies in the country, and And many of these companies, organizations, they either put a button on their clothes, DISOC,
or color code,
or some of them they put on their office door.
Yeah.
They say, a dominant style works here. When you walk into my office, stick to the bottom line, keep it brief and butt off. And if it's an influence style, I say when you walk in, or S style, then when you walk into my office, please smile, be kind, and don't raise your voice and that kind of stuff. So, but because they see these different styles, they know how to communicate with each other. Same like I speak 6 languages. With the German people, I speak German. With the Spanish, I speak Spanish, and I don't try to force my English on everyone. Same with personality styles. When you try to force your personality styles on everybody, you are the annoying one. You before you learn about this, you see lots of people as crazy around you and annoying. Once you learn about this or any personality style teaching, when you see around you a D, I, S, or C, you don't see crazies anymore. You're like, oh, so that's a steadiness style. That's why she's so kind and supportive and so, like just full of love. They love to help people. And then before you thought maybe they were weak or something, But now you think, oh, so that's a steadiness style, an S style we call it. Or if somebody is so careful and analytical and always very serious, oh, so that's a conscientiousness style. Or if it's pushy and direct, you don't call them an asshole anymore. You call them now a D style. And it reduces about, I have the exact number, about 7,695% of your stress is going down when you understand this, because you don't have difficult people and all kind of labels, jackasses, assholes, and dumbasses around you. Now you have different personality styles around you, and that changes your life at home and on the job.
All right, so understanding the personality styles, the types, it helps you deal with each person, no longer be judgmental and thinking they're crazy. They're wired different, right? They're
People
wired
are
different.
not weird, they're just differently wired. And now you say don't judge them, but then some people watch this and they say, well, you're just judging, you're labeling them as D, I, S, or C. And I like it how Dr. Rome says, he says labeling is disabling. This is not about labeling. This is about recognizing that the animal that my cat brought me is a squirrel, so I will feed it nuts. And when it brings me a bird, I will feed it seeds. So different things, different animals need different kind of food, and maybe the comparison is not perfect, but it's about recognizing different styles and then communicating with them the way they want to be communicated to, not the way you want to just dump it on everybody your style.
So I like what you got here, a little note. Remember, before chapter 6 says, no behavioral style is better or worse. Each and every style has its strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, if you recognize your style as you read this book, you study this book. By the way, you can order it on Amazon. Your style may be great in certain areas, but your style may not be the best one for other situations. So you can become the best you when you get a good understanding of your style, learn to capitalize on your strengths, and if you choose to, work on some of your weak areas. You are already perfect as you are, but you do have to use your gifts to your advantage. So this book is full of awesome, amazing knowledge about all the 4 styles and effectively communicating with each style. That's why I say that this book should be on our desk all the time. It does not belong on the shelf here. It belongs right here for a manager. So when you wrote this book, I was a service manager, and I was about to face one of my toughest situations with an employee. So this book arrived at the perfect time. Now, I had read a lot of books about dealing with difficult people and managing people, but somehow all that information, if you don't refresh it, it goes away. So you wrote the book, it comes out, and I think you asked me to approve it. And by the way, I'm not really good at that. So I read the book, and it helped me deal with this person. It was a very volatile situation with a very difficult employee who refused to to basically do his job. And I either had to somehow guide him back into doing his work and being a great productive team member, or I would have had to fire him. Well, I didn't end up firing him. Instead, we worked things out, and I was able to diffuse and de-escalate my own emotions because of reading the book. And I understood, oh, wait a minute, he's a different style, he's a different type. I don't need to get mad at him, and any kind of anger or disappointment I had basically dissipated because I read the book. So, this whole video here is not necessarily about trying to tell you go get this book, but like E.G. said, that as long as you study one of the styles, one of the systems, whether it's DISC or Myers-Briggs, but study one. And this is a good one. This is easy to understand. This is not written for PhD level people. This is written for everyday people, new managers or managers with a lot of tenure, and also people that just want their family life to improve, their relationships to improve. So that's awesome. It really helped me way back in the beginning.
And I have a whole, I don't remember, chapter or subchapter on how to diffuse conflict with each of the styles. But so behavior can be and is fluid. Like, yes, you are basically most likely one or the other style dominant. Like, I am a dominance and influence style. My influence style is the highest and dominance a little bit under it. So I'm very fast-paced, very outspoken, very humorous and all that. But I can also be very kind and gentle, or I can be very direct. Same with anybody else. Like, let's say somebody is purely, mostly dominance, like they're always very direct, very serious and all that. But when they talk to their child, they will smile and be kind. They reach into their steadiness style. When they do their taxes, then they reach into their conscientiousness style. They're more analytical, more careful. They pay attention to details. And maybe rarely they reach into their influence style and they're more humorous. So some of the behaviors are more challenging for us, but it is like a bowl of fruit. It's available to you, and you can always reach in and you can display whatever behavior you choose to, but some come more natural than others.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I think awareness of the fact that those behavioral styles are available to me, even though I might not be that behavioral style, that's welcome news, because we all find ourselves in a situation that may require, if you don't like to speak to people, you like to do tasks, you may have to speak a little bit. And you find out if you start talking, you start speaking, next thing you know, people are smiling, they love what you got to say, because maybe you're an expert on the topic and they love what you got to say. Or maybe you are actually funny. You say something and you break out of the shell, and next thing you know, people enjoy what you got to say. So that's awesome. To get more content, you'll have to go inside of Gravitational Business System, the Gravitational Service Department. E.G. has graciously agreed to create some content on DISC for us that we will do a little bit of training in there. Also, you can find his material on DISC. This book is on Amazon, but then what other services do you offer? I know you do a lot of business coaching, remote coaching. You have clients all over the country, but what are the other services that you currently offer?
Yeah, my clients are mostly all over the world, more than all over the country.
I didn't say which country.
Yeah. All over the countries.
All the countries in the world.
Yes. Mostly I do business development and business planning, marketing planning, and I have a small team that actually implements for people many of the marketing and business development. We build
online
websites.
Marketing. You're talking about
online marketing. Yeah, we build entire funnels, and for some clients we implement those funnels as well. And I speak regularly at corporate events, training events on team building, improving managers' performance, improving team performance. And that's what I love most. I love being in front of a team of managers. Usually I do managers. I rarely do employees, though I do that as well. But yeah, I love being in front of a crowd and doing workshops. My workshops last usually a day or 2 days. My shortest workshop is 4 hours. And you usually pay about the same amount if you hire me for 4 hours or 8 hours. It doesn't
So
matter.
I was a camera guy. I was the guy behind the camera at one of the early events back many years ago, and I watched transformation in the room where people started pointing fingers at each other as they recognized the different personality types in their coworkers. I think classmates. These were actually college students. So it's really powerful stuff when people recognize that their coworkers are not actually crazy and relationships are healed through the process. Of course, it takes a little bit of intention too. You have to be intentional about this stuff. But the workshops make it happen because it opens the door for people to be willing to consider that, oh, wait a minute, this person is not trying to make me angry every day. They are built that way. They are built different.
And in the workshops, everything happens through self-discovery. I don't teach much. I just facilitate. I break people up in groups based on their... there are certain clues that give away what a personality style somebody is, and based on that, I break them up in groups, and then they share with the other personality styles. So they learn from each other, and they discover that, wow, so we are just different, but we are not necessarily cuckoo, right? So it's very powerful. And two of the things that comes up regularly, and when I came back from my first workshop, I was in your bathroom reading the reading the feedback forms, and many of the forms said, "Thank you so much for helping me understand me. Thank you for making me realize that I'm not crazy. I'm just a different personality style." And as I was reading these were from teenagers. And going into that workshop, I was horrified because I heard so many things about American teenagers. But no, they were the best audience. And as I was reading them, I started sobbing, and you were banging on the door like, "Hey, are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm fine. I'm happy." But so one thing is, thank you for helping me understand and accept myself. So that's the biggest message I hear all the time. And then the second one is, can I change my style? So lots of people wonder if they can become another style. And the short answer to that is no, you cannot. But you can always step into another, let's call them 4 dimensions. You can step in the dimension that you want to be. And of course, if you are very analytical, you can't just easily step into being a funny and chatty guy. You can try, but you will come across funny. Same as if you're an influence style who is always chatty and funny, and you try to be analytical and really careful, you will still make mistakes. But you can try, you can work at it, and it's doable. And we do it all the time.
Well, that's wonderful. So you can get to know others, but it sounds like very important, maybe most important, you get to know yourself and accept yourself, which even recently I heard the daughter of a huge personality just wrote a series of essays. And actually, it's the daughter of Larry David, the creator of Seinfeld. She said that she felt like she's the most unwelcome person in any room that she would walk into. Now, if anyone should feel pretty good about themselves, is someone of her stature and obviously a person who led a pretty good life. But we all deal with insecurity issues. We all deal with personality issues. So it's important to understand ourselves.
First of all,
yeah.
But then the biggest gift is, to understand. I think they are equally great gifts. Understand yourself, and then recognize the different styles around you. Because now, instead of finding them annoying, which messes up your life, communication and relationship determines our life and the quality of our life, right? So when you recognize the different styles, then right away you are like, you can just smile. You say, oh, so that's a steadiness style, that's a dominant style. And instead of stressing, you just understand why they behave as they do.
Awesome.
And that's gold.
So you can help people with this, but of course, lately you've been doing a lot of business coaching, and this, I'm pretty confident, helps you in that.
Absolutely.
And so how can people get in touch with you?
The easiest way is go to my website, clientsenrollmentfunnels.com, or best on LinkedIn. So that's even better. Yeah, just go to LinkedIn and contact me there. And if you have any questions about what we talked about here or anything that you see on my profile, yeah, let me know. I'm very responsive to messages.
So if someone has a dysfunctional work group, that's right up your
I
alley.
love that. I love
Bring it
that.
on.
Bring it on. And if you have bullies, because I wrote another book, I co-authored another book back off how to stop bullying at workplace. Because, for example, if you have somebody who is highly skilled and they work for you for 20 years, but they are a bully, right? That's where you call me in, and then I coach that person to tone down their behavior, and still, instead of firing them and now you have to spend hundreds of thousands training somebody else, we can save that employee. I also do workshops on workplace bullying and just improving communication between team members. But yeah, so if there's a dysfunctional team, that's when I'm called in, and I help rebuild the team, improve performance of the team, and that kind of stuff.
Wonderful. So the website is
enrollmentfunnels.com
clientsenrollmentfunnels.com,
Yeah.
or DM direct message on LinkedIn,
or egsebastian.com.
or egsebastian.com.
That's my first website. That's where you can see my disc workshops as well. Yes.
Awesome. So, okay. Well, this was great.
I have about 20 websites, so it's hard for me to think which one is the best.
Since this will be on LinkedIn, direct message EG
Oh yeah,
on LinkedIn.
you will see me there, so yeah, just message me there.
And if you're in the fixed operations world, then obviously contact me directly about training for managers, for service managers, for service advisors, that under my care training that I've made available. And it's virtual training that you'll find right on your computer, on your phone, or wherever your employees might go. They're small, easily digestible modules that get the right thinking going and the right attitude going every day. And EG will create some content about DISC, so your managers and employees can understand personality types. Now, if they want to take a deep dive, order the book. Just go, it's called Communication Skills Magic. It's on Amazon. So order the book. And by the way, this is one of the first books that he self-published. You self-published this, right?
Yeah.
So, you might find a couple of grammar errors in there, but I'll tell you, as one of the bestsellers author said, he didn't write a
bestseller. I wrote a bestseller.
Yeah. He wasn't writing a book on grammar. He was writing a book on the content. So the content is amazing. It will help you get along with people and get your teams functional. So, EG, thank you again.
Let me just say something, that why you should listen to this guy when it comes to automotive management and team building and all that. He managed, what was that, Honda or?
Probably Kia, Isuzu, Subaru.
Yeah,
when,
Kia, Isuzu,
you're probably
Subaru,
thinking of a trip.
Yeah, when he brought his department up to the second place in the nation in customer service.
Oh, we were number one in the Southeast for Honda and for, so that was Honda first and then Isuzu.
Yeah, so that's under his management. So he definitely knows how to serve customers and how to bring it up to a level that is nationally recognized. So yeah, that was really cool. He won a trip to Mexico and he took me with him. So that was really
That's right.
cool.
I was a single guy, so I was
He
allowed
could
to
have taken
take.
any chick, but no, he
I was
took
allowed
me.
to take.
I meant lady.
Yeah, any lady. I was allowed to take anyone I wanted to Mexico with me. So my brother went to Mexico with me when we won number one in the Southeast. So let's hope that one day we can all go to Mexico again without worrying about anything. And these are tough times, so we want to do whatever we can to make these times easier and help any business owner, manager, CEO, president, employee to succeed in these tough times. And these are important topics that are probably more important now than ever, as we need to get along with everyone around us. So, fist fight? No, we both do martial arts, and he would kick my butt anytime. So that's just, he took a deep dive. When you become an expert, then you're going to have a fair advantage, because you actually spend the time to learn. So same with this. And he's got the advantage on martial arts and on disc. And I can help you with automotive processes and the training that helps you get clients for life in your service department. So again, thank you, EG Sebastian.
But thank you for inviting me to this really cool interview.
And we're going to have to break it up into pieces because this went way over 10 minutes and LinkedIn limit is 10 minutes. So
Really? Oh.
you're probably going to see 31-minute pieces.
Yeah,
of
part
this.
1, part 2.
That's right.
Yeah.
So get in touch with EG about your dysfunctional team. Don't go another day with a dysfunctional team. Let's get the dysfunctional team working again with communication skills magic and business coaching from EG. And whenever you need virtual training for your team in your service department, then DM me, contact me, and we'll set you up with training that will get your team in the right mindset early in the morning every day. All right, thank you. We'll see you next time.